We're moving on to the last topic, which has something to do with the 20th this past month. This will be the last topic of the night. The return of Donnie to the White House. I will take the floor here for a second and just let me jump up here and say I was a Democrat. Then I switched to the Independent Party about 12 years ago. So you're either kind of independent right-leaning or independent left-leaning. I lean towards Donnie at the moment. I'll just come out and say that. I just got to jump up here first, regardless of what anybody says. This is the greatest comeback in American history, or at least the last 100 years, to have the entire world attempt to cancel you, to have every news outlet in the world except for like one trying to take you down, and to flip that and make a comeback. And really the comeback guy was let the other side do their policies.
Yeah, hang themselves.
It's not working. It's not working. We're going with him. And not only was this like not close to the flip the Senate and flip the House and hit all the swing states. It doesn't matter what like your group of friends say, like, oh, we're still the smarter ones. The world did not like the last administration, did not like the way the world was going. And I'll say one more thing before I let you guys roll here. Dave knows this, being a history guy. History repeats itself. 76 to 80, we had another really wimpy, nice guy as a president. It didn't work. You got 12 years of Republican after that. And I really think if I'm just say like, okay, what would I do if I was the Dems? You got to change stuff. You got to, because what 100%. You did annoyed people to a point. People got tired and burnt out. It was the same playbook. Maybe there's things in there people that right now that are listening like that they loved about it. Fine, but the rest of the world didn't agree.
100%.
With that, Dave, you go first.
So I've always considered myself I'm a left-leaning centrist. I refuse to be a part of either party. I didn't wear blue on purpose. That was just.
Can I just jump in before I have to jump in because I like where you're at? To me, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, the thinking's done for you.
100%. Yeah, because you're
this is why I always be independent, because there could be a time, I don't know when, that I think the Dems are the shit again. Like, yeah, but we gotta get away from these Republicans. But
agreed.
Yeah, like think. I'm not I like to go out and see the world. If I have a question about something, whatever the topic is, I want to go to the topic. I don't want secondhand information.
100%.
Yeah. Back to you,
I mean, full disclosure, I'm generally, I don't agree with him on, politics and personalities aside, just policy. I tend to lean the other way. But I think, to your point, the Democrats, it's not working and they're stumbling. And as someone who's voted for them, I'm very frustrated that they don't have their act together.
So
that
their playbook.
You said throw 100%. In the jerk. I'd like to talk to you about Lyndon Johnson.
Go for it.
Lyndon Johnson. He was president, after JFK was shot. His his legacy is tarnished by Vietnam, and that's kind of what he goes down in history for. But he's also one of the most progressive presidents. He does a lot for disenfranchised people. He does a lot of again, just policy things, domestic policy that I think modern day liberals would be for. Kind of similar personality to Trump, though. He was known for using the quote unquote the Johnson method, where he would follow people into the bathroom and intimidate them into passing his bill.
Got him.
Like, he would be quote, he'd be canceled today for the same reasons, that they tried to do Trump. He said insane things. He was even more loose with racial slurs. It was the 60s. So, the things he said.
Look at Woodrow Wilson. I mean, you really could go past and say there's
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Bad people.
100%.
But my point is, I think you're right. It wasn't working. I stand here. I look back at history. We are on the precipice of something new. I know everyone's, obviously the people who supported him are thinking, oh, we're moving in a good direction. Things are going to get better. I can't say that I agree that I can't say that I think that will happen, but I really hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about it, and I would love to see that play out. But really what I'd love to see is the Democrats actually get some balls and actually get someone who's going to do kind of what he does, but in passing policies they care about.
Yeah, steamroller.
I think, though, they could have. I thought the Dems were done dirty because you should have had some sort of you could have had some sort of an emergency vote of like when Biden was
yeah, and I mean
convention.
To me, you guys would have had a way better shot. I say you guys, but the Dems, if they had like Shapiro in there, I thought would have been.
I was shocked. Kamala didn't. They talked about Pennsylvania's the most
Kamala
state. How did she not pick him?
Because she didn't want to get outshined. She didn't want to get outshined by a VP.
Get outshined, and like I don't want to pull this race thing going on here, but you had this like free Palestine and the Jewish kids and at the colleges being attacked and stuff. And it's like, well, he's Jewish. I didn't understand. That's why my mom's like, Elon's this. I'm like, well, what about all the students that were getting beat up at Harvard for just being Jew? I was like, the Dems were just so all over the place. I don't think they could have won. I do like Shapiro because I said I'm Indy. I will go where I think it's good.
And I think he's probably their best shot because come 2028,
him
and JD will be a good war. I think that'd be a good
it would be
young and youthful.
yeah. Keyword.
I just want to point out that Bill Clinton is like a couple years younger than Trump. And he was president 30 years ago.
I know.
That's insane.
That's insane, man.
That's insane to me.
That's insane, dude.
It was just a bad campaign because Donald Trump was banned from a lot of the like talk shows. So he got over on where the real news of the world is. Right here,
podcasting circuit.
The fact that she wouldn't go on Joe Rogan or that he had to go to her, and it was only like 30 minutes. Like you were basically saying she's not qualified, the talk long and all her. Anytime I saw her talk, it was just knocking at Trump, but she wouldn't say policies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't selling me on that, even if I wanted to vote for her. I top it all off. Her neck age is like 30 years older than her face. I don't know what's going on.
No, I think she was in her defense, she was set up to fail.
Yeah.
Why would the party want to fail though? Why would they want to throw her in there to fail? Were you just married like we can't get rid of her because she's a woman and of color or something? I didn't know what was the deal.
The problem with the Democrats, they can't agree on what they want.
Exactly.
Because I think they're so preoccupied with virtue signaling and with I'm a better ally than you because I'm going to cancel you for this and this. They need to be unified, and they frankly they need someone like a Shapiro or like a Lyndon Johnson who's going to say, you know what, I'm fighting for your guys' policies. Shut the hell up and let me do it.
Yeah.
This is why they're fully they're on the back porch now between the House and the Senate. And I'm telling you,
and
Trump reality he ain't coming back. It's 4 years. He's out. So he's really got 2 solid years because he can't guarantee you're going to own the House and Senate in 2 years. Nope. So he's got 2 years to do whatever he wants.
It usually does flip back the other way.
Usually. I mean, if you get enough people that are, but I mean, you got a lot of people that were bitter. There was a lot of people like me. Like, if you were telling me 4 years ago, I'd be talking like I am now. No, not that I'm like going crazy or anything, but there's I was all about. I
Just
didn't want
fed
to. Shake,
up, you know?
I didn't want to shake my friends up because I love everybody.
Mhm.
So I was like, when somebody had a political comment, I just said, "Cool, cool, cool." Anyway, you want to go hang out with that cat over there? It's kind of cute. Like I did anything
Grab a beer.
the topic, but I just think a lot of the world that was afraid to speak up sat there with acid in their mouth for 4 years, waiting to pull that lever, and that is another reason he is in that office right now.
But
Yeah.
it's gonna come down to what happens he's in, and much like when Biden came in 20, deliver, or
Well,
the
you-
voters will be just as quick in 2028
Exactly. Very
to
fickle.
flip it back.
Well, yeah. But I also look at like the election overall as like this is the best we got, huh?
Yeah.
Two parties. No. It's like
Look, I liked Andrew Yang. I wanted him to run.
no,
I
but
brought
I
over
look
brother.
at,
I wanted him to.
well, this is an analogy for you got everybody else listening right now. So the Dems, they're your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you're dating. I'm a Dem, okay. Oh, wait, I don't like what they're doing. You cheated on me, so I'm going to come over here and join the Republican. Yeah, you're great. Wait, oh, you cheated on me too. I'll go back to my old girlfriend. Are you kidding me? I wanted them like, you both cheated on me. I don't want to align with either one of you. Why? I wish
We're never gonna have a third party.
there's
take
got it.
hold.
They're not even allowed to debate.
The
Yeah,
problem.
And the Dems and the Republicans have that set up that no Jesse Ventura or anyone who's a third party.
The establishment.
That's
it's
amazing.
it's the 50% plus one majority rule needed to win. You can, if you get 40% of the vote, even if you got more votes than everyone else, you need that 50% plus one. It's what happened to Andrew Jackson in 1824, the corrupt bargain of 1824. You had multiple candidates running. Jackson wins the most votes, but it's not over that 50% majority threshold. So it goes to the Senate, and they vote John Quincy Adams in because he was more their guy, and he, Nepo baby. He was the son of the second president. As long as that's in place, third parties really are just kind of there for show. And I hate that that's the way that it is.
Yeah. Yep. Jackson was scum, by the way. I like Dave because he knows his history, and me and Lauren are big into that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I agree with point. Like I said, like I'm big on Second Amendment, right? But like I'm also a cannabis activist. Like those two don't gel, so I guess that kind of puts me independent.
The neocons aren't big on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't stand Trump. I find his personality absolutely obnoxious and abhorrent. That being said, he's extremely entertaining. The guy is absolutely hilarious. I can not like him and acknowledge those things at the same time. You know what I mean? But if I had to make a prediction, I would say that like he's not probably going to have as much time as he thinks he has, as Dave was saying, before the people will turn on him. And I think they're going to do a lot like his first term, a bunch of deregulation. It's probably going to spin up the economy in the short term. But in another 2 years, I mean, we're already having shortages of eggs with the bird flu. I went to Whole Foods yesterday. They were totally out of eggs. So I don't know if that's a SoCal thing or whatever, but, prices are skyrocketing.
I don't think that's going to matter who the president was. If there's like a flu, the health board's got to approve all that. We just kind of got to wait this egg thing out.
For sure. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a central thing, but COVID did tank Trump's first term, So,
no, it did. And I think he did a real bad job of handling it, I can't blame him for the fact that it happened.
On the other hand, like Lauren was saying, like I'm like if I was a Democrat and he talked about LBJ, I'm a 60s, JFK, RFK Democrat. As Lauren said, it's been quite a long time since that age has passed. I do support RFK. I like seeing him working with Trump. So that's probably.
I'm going to jump in here what you just said there about too. It's about time there's someone with muscles in charge of our health. I just got to say that. I am such a person about like, I'm not talking about just America. Go around the world and look at the leaders of they're all out of shape and terrible. I had to think about, I've been in martial arts a long time. Look at your martial art teacher that when you're jumping, you're going to go sign up. If they're not in shape, why would you want to learn from them?
Right.
It's like, I just think Kennedy.
I never thought of that, but I've not seen many martial arts teachers. That's why I don't know.
No, there's some that are like
Steven Seagal.
I think like 7 out of 10 of them are really like they keep themselves together and all that. But there is like sometimes you walk in, you're like, I'm not paying you to teach me.
Exactly. You haven't taught yourself.
Yeah. So I just think practice what you preach. I really like the fact that he's talking about getting all the food dyes out. Now listen,
and again, that's something left and right should be unified on.
Agreed.
I think in the end, I mean, listen, we could keep talking about this as the months go on. I think Trump's going to go out a little more on top than people think. I don't think the guy just is going to be this head hunting. I think he's really trying to say, like, I want to have a good legacy. And that's what I think the guy's doing. That's just one man's opinion. And I think he's going to try to why does he need months from now to be taking jabs at the other side when, like, they're not a threat to him?
Yeah, they're non-existent.
You know what I mean? Like, just do your job, see what happens.
Well, like Elon, his ego gets in his way sometimes.
Well, I'm not telling you there's going to be some moments
he stumbles over.
But there's one thing I got to say. One thing. Every one of us, if a bullet freaking ever comes flying at our head, none of us are getting up. That's one of the most hardcore moves. Like, a guy in his 70s got up from being shot. And I hate when people are like, oh, it was all plot and it's all fake. Like, 2 people are dead from that, man. Like stop it. Like people, including the shooter. Just like, the media, the way they riled people up. There's some 20-year-old kid that's dead and thought he was doing the world justice by attempting to kill a president-elect. Like, wow. Things just got way out of hand. I just hope everybody could calm down a little more. Like, at least, regardless, he ain't going nowhere. So, like, breathe. Enjoy your life a little bit. It's a great country here, man. It really is.
It's going to be interesting to see how his health holds up for the full term because, 78 years old. I mean, it's
You're right. But
he's another guy that's too stubborn to.
I think Vince McMahon.
He's Vince McMahon. That's what I'm going to say. Like,
politics.
I think Trump will be when he leaves office, we'll go start a new Apprentice, and he's just going to run around. I'm the greatest president ever. Check out my new show over here. It's #1. It's great.
Yeah, the Trump Network, another streaming service.
Yeah, he'll do something. But in reality, Trump didn't need to do this, and he didn't need to make a comeback. Yeah. The guy did everything in the world. He started one term. Did he really need to come back? I mean, the guy has nothing to gain. He could just live off his money and have fun. But he wants to do this.
I was just going to say that I do agree with, even though I don't support the red wave or the other than maybe the Second Amendment, probably any other conservative policies, but I agree with Lauren 100%. I'm a realist. It was the best comeback or at least, like you said, in the 100 years. Now, I'm not
since Grover Cleveland.
I support
the other swing states president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms.
For sure. And I'm a realist. I can't not acknowledge reality, right? This isn't CNN. Yep. So even though it wasn't the direction I personally wanted to go in, that being said, a lot of the things he said lately are making a lot of sense. Get rid of the income tax. I mean, the problem with Trump is he puts out 500 of these announcements a day. So I don't know how many of them are actually actionable in policy because we're talking about the U.S. government now where everything's 99% gridlock.
He didn't even have a party. He went and started sitting down and signing. He's I think it was 26 amendments in like a day. I think he's done the most.
The EOs, executive
orders. Yeah.
I used to teach government. One odd byproduct of this is we're seeing government in action and like how it works. And it's interesting to see people actually talking about what I used to teach. Like, an executive order can't override a constitutional amendment because only a new amendment can do that. And here's how you do an amendment.
Constitutional law, yeah.
If nothing else, people are talking about what I used to teach, and that's the silver lining. That's something that I like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a policy guy, like Lauren said. So even when the other side is in the office, again, I'm independent, but from my perspective, the other side is in office. When they pass policies that I support, I obviously, I'm happy with that. Mm-hmm. They've talked about constitutional carry in all 50 states. I'm a CCW holder in California. I obviously support that. So like, I can't say I'm at odds with everything that comes out of his mouth, and we'll just have to see how some of the policies play out. Any of them actually work,
No matter what side of the fence, if you were a Republican or a Democrat, I don't care who you are. You cannot be that married to a team of not saying, well, over there, I do like this and this, but I'd rather these 20 on this side. Like that's why I said everybody should really be independent, because it's like
they should be, and it's like the far left and the far right. You go to the extreme. It's not a line; it's a circle, because the further you get to the extremes, extreme is they're just like each other. They're brainwashed.
Exactly.
You
mirror image.
You have the people beating up the Jewish kids in the school, and then you have the Trump cultists. That it's like he can do no wrong, and it's like you both.
You had that. You had that in the Dems. So one of the things that set me up was like when they would do something wrong, they would never acknowledge it. It didn't. It was just like back to Trump, back to Trump. Like, well you guys, it's human error. You did this over here. It didn't work. You can't admit it. Like, I just didn't understand. I think another reason people pulled the lever the other way. People were like seeing stuff like, neither party is going to ever have it right. It's just, is it right enough for you?
And that's really what you have to be critical. If you're not critical of your own side, you're not thinking.
Not.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be critical of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
People change as they age. Like if you were to tell me for a second, I'd be sticking up for the Republican side when I was in my 20s and my early 30s. You're out of your freaking mind. It's just whatever. New ideas. It's great. It's great. Then when you get older, you're kind of like, I've seen some of this. I appreciate it, but it's getting ridiculous. And you start to start going a little more, because that's this life, but that's also changing as like human.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same person you are in your 20s and 30s, that you've wasted your life. Like,
you show no growth.